Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another webinar series by RISMedia. I'm Sherry Johnson and CEO and founder of Sherry Johnson Coaching and Consulting. We've got an exciting panel today of broker leaders from across the country, sponsored by the one and only Curbio. We've got great content today. We're excited to bring this to you. And I want to first thank RISMedia for putting on such amazing content and putting on these webinars. So first off, we are talking today about the real competition. Are we too worried about big tech focused broker models? And today's panelists are going to share with you what they're doing to overcome some of those myths, to how they're competing at a higher level with their agents, what they're doing internally to combat these maybe these big tech companies that seem to be not friendly and perhaps impeding on some of our market share. First off, I'm going to introduce a couple of our panelists as well as our sponsor. Again, I'm Sherry Johnson and I'm out of Cleveland, Ohio. So excited to be moderating today's panel. I've got people on here that I know are going to bring really great content and best practices to you today. So it's really going to be a great event. We are recording this, and as you know, RISMedia will be providing you with a copy of this entire broadcast. At first, I want to welcome Melinda Howell from Ebby Halliday down in Dallas, Texas. Melinda, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here, Sherry, and with these esteemed panelists. But my name is Melinda Howell. I'm the Senior Vice President of Brokerage for the Ebby Halliday Companies here in the Dallas-Fort Worth, North Texas region of Texas. We have about 34 offices strong in our marketplace, almost about 1,900 sales associates. So far in 2022, a little over $8 billion in sales volume, almost $10 billion in 2021. So I'm honored to be here and can't wait to add some value to the conversation.
Excellent. And Melinda, I just had the pleasure of seeing you at NAR in Orlando. It's great to see you. You've been at Ebby Halliday how long?
Next year will be my 25th year. So I'm honored to be with our iconic brand for all these years. And it's the only place I've ever been, and it's the only place I want to be. So we have a lot to live up to. It's funny about NAR, Sherry, only realtors would fly into a hurricane to the conference. So it was fast and furious, but great information.
It was. And you really are. I mean, this is a brand, top 10 company in the country. I'm thrilled you're here. And I know you're going to add a lot to give to our listeners today. And next, very good friend of mine also, Earl Mooring from Alabama in Birmingham at Realty South. Hi, Earl.
Hey, Sherry. Thanks so much for having me. Give you a little bit of history or background on Realty South. We are the best real estate company in the state of Alabama. We have offices that are scattered throughout the state. Our primary focus with our offices, we're mainly in central Alabama, mainly in the Birmingham metro area. Last year, about $2.5 billion in sales, somewhere around 8,000 units that we will have sold. And I guess our average sales price is $315, $320, something in that area. And we are real proud to be a part of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services of America. And my role for the company is I am a regional manager, and I oversee 7 of our 21, 22 offices throughout the state.
Yes, and your company is known all over the country. In fact, you've got just an amazing leadership team. Your presence there. You've been there how long? How long have you been there?
Coming up on 10 years.
And you were a top agent, both of you actually. Melinda was too, both from the field. And it's just amazing to watch both of your careers and the impact you're having on your sales teams, because you're both incredible trainers, coaches, mentors to managers, and I have 2 of the best, really. Next, I want to introduce our sponsor for today's webinar. Sarah Smith from Curbio. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, all of you. Sarah, would you please introduce yourself, and thanks for sponsoring today.
Absolutely. So honored to be here. Thank you so much, Sherry, and just a delight to be here listening to Melinda and Earl. I so look forward to the discussion. I'm Sarah Smith. I'm the Demand Generation Marketing Manager focused on partnerships for Curbio. And Curbio, in addition to being the sponsor of today's session, we are your partner for Fix Now, Pay When You Sell pre-listing updates. So allowing all agents to use Curbio to bring a concierge solution to every single listing, boosting the value of all of your listings, helping your sellers sell for top dollar, really maximize the profit on their biggest investment. This is a beautiful example of a before and after. I love our before and afters. I love transformations like that. And so we do all the work. We manage it from basic listing preps all the way up to full-scale remodels and everything in between. There are very few kinds of projects Curbio will not take on. Here are just some wonderful examples of what we do, and we are completely means we manage everything start to finish. We give you an on-site dedicated project manager who takes that burden of project management off of your shoulders, frees up your time, gives you a single point of contact for every project, and of course, we defer all payment until closing. So we are bringing you that tool in your toolkit. Here's just some great highlights of the Curbio difference, all-inclusive competitive pricing, which includes dedicated on-site project management, materials, labor, no credit checks, no interest, no fees, zero due from your sellers until closing. We're paid out at closing, and transparency and efficiency built into the Curbio process. So incorporating technology and helping you and your seller to really be involved in the process. You'll hear more from me later. I'll send out a promo in the follow-up email. I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you again.
Awesome. Yes. And I just want to point out, I see no project minimum or maximum. That's pretty amazing. So
it is, yes, and it is completely true. People ask us all the time, what's the minimum amount I've got to do for a project with Curbio? Honestly, y'all, the smallest thing that we'll do is a basic cleaning. That's like $350, you know, a couple $100 worth of deep cleaning. We're a fantastic option to use for staging because you get to use your own stager. You can offer deferred until payment staging for your sellers, such a nice thing to bring. But we'll do all the way, you know, from those couple $100 projects all the way up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. No project minimums, no project maximums. It truly is as good as it sounds, and your sellers don't pay $1 until closing.
I think that's even the best part. So fantastic. And you said we'll be hearing more from you. And thank you for the introduction. If you've not heard of this company, you'll want to, and you'll want to stay on even more to get this excellent free offering that you're providing to our listeners today. So speaking of our listeners, now that we're getting all these people on, do me a favor, let me know where you are tuning in from. So if you want to go into the questions area of GoToMeeting on the dashboard, you can just say hello, tell us where you're tuning in from. I saw several people that I know coming in from all over the country. Let us know where you're coming in from and say hello over in the question area. And I do want to also point out, if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the questions pane of the GoToWebinar menu. This we will be able to answer them as we talk. We will also provide an opportunity towards the end of our session to do a Q&A as well. So if you think of something and you want to wait till the end, that's fine. If you would like to ask it now, we will do our best to answer all your questions. But I would like to know where you're tuning in from, and we'll keep track of that. I see all kinds coming in from New York and Massachusetts and Abby Halliday, Frisco. I see you, Bill Tucker, and Birmingham, Alabama, of course, and PA all the way to California. So our very first question I want to ask, and I think there's one other quick, nope, that's it. The video of this will be provided, and we'll cover that at the end as well. So you don't have to worry about this it's being recorded and will be provided to you for a playback as well. All right, so the question of the day, and the question a lot of us ask, and whether you're a franchise model, independent, I personally came from a very large independent model where our value was in everyday language. We talked about what we provided to our agents, and yet there are threats and there are people out there and companies out there. You know, Melinda and Earl, you know, are we all too worried about these big tech focused brokerage models, or is it sort of like the thing that gets the most attention is the scary thing? You know what I mean? Like, is this really affecting our businesses? And I know in certain parts of the country it is. I'd love to hear your take on that. My very first question is the question of the actual title of our show. So who would like to go first?
I'll jump in.
Perfect.
So I think it's a really important question. I'm going to answer it in two ways. So some of these disruptors or tech giant companies obviously come into the Dallas-Fort Worth market. And really about 4.5, 5 years ago when that started. And, you know, I have to say there was some fear a little bit in the marketplace of what that was going to do. I'm proud to say that, of course, did we lose some people to possibly some competitors? We did. But I think it had us really reevaluate, to your point, what our value is as a brokerage and as a sales leader team and what all we provide. And we've never been stronger or better because of it. So I think that little exercise of I'm not one to put blinders on and not know what's going on around you, but I also know that you can't control all of the things outside of the realm that's just going to happen, but you can control what is happening in your own office. You as an agent, you as a leadership team, you as an executive leadership team, you can control that. And so if you lead by fear, fear will take over. And so here at the Ebby Holiday Companies, we chose to lead with our value and lead with our hearts. And I think we redid our mission statement. We did a lot of internal things, and we're a people first company. And when you put people first and you don't lead by fear, competitors are going to come and go. And one of the great things that I loved about Ebby Holiday personally, the person always used to say, is we're cooperators, not competitors. And so you're always going to have these cooperators come in and out of the marketplace, and we want to work with them. And sometimes you may not be able to compete, and that's okay. But you know that what your value is, and that's what I love about our company is we have so many loyal and incredible agents that love our brand and know what our brand stands for. And so do I think there was some competitive nature in some of these outliers or disruptors that came in? Absolutely. But I will say that I think we've remained strong and actually continue to thrive.
Yes, and you have you have some major top agents with 30 years with your firm.
Absolutely, yes.
That is every top agency and top brokerage I get the pleasure of working with, it resonates. You have that. You have people doing 100 million plus. They are interested in these companies, and they make that perfectly known that they are committed to you. Thank you for starting us off. Earl, your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, when I started in real estate as a brand new agent, I had been a flipper. I had worked in the medical field, running sales teams, selling products business to business. And when I came into real estate, one of the first things that I did was to get an executive coach. I didn't get a real estate coach, but I got an executive coach, and the guy's name was Dwayne Wade. And Dwayne kind of helped me launch my career. He has since passed away, but one of the things that he said to me I probably had been in the business 2 months. And he said, one thing that I've noticed about the few real estate agents that I work with is that there is more noise in real estate than any other business that I coach people in. And he said, Earl, what you've got to do every morning is you have to wake up, cut out the noise. Don't worry about what's happening on social media. Don't worry about what the competition is doing. Don't worry about the new, bright, most shiny object that comes along. He said, what you have to do each morning is wake up and figure out what your business needs in order to make money. And he said, Dwayne told me, he said, if you focus on the person, right? If you service that person, then your business is going to make money. And as I've progressed over the years in the business, I've told that story to so many people because he was exactly right. Yes, to answer that question, we are too worried about it, right? We worry about too many things. We worry about what the other guy is doing. You know, our company has been around for 70 plus years. We are an iconic institution in the state of Alabama. Some people say we're old. Some people say we're too traditional. I say bring it on. That's who we are. And as long as we stay true to those values, which is what y'all have talked about, who we are, servicing the customer, us servicing our agents, and staying laser focused on what makes us money and what drives our business operation, and all the rest of this is noise. And that's been a good thing for me to live by.
Well, it's so true. I mean, this industry, we have more, they call them disruptors. A lot of us call them distractors. They are distracting some of us. Obviously, we all keep our head down and stay in our lane. And I think during our pre-panel call, and I just know from talking to you and working with you so much, both of you, we know our model. And when we can say, that's not our model, we know what our model is and we're true to it. Companies that stand the test of time, hundreds of years of continuous generation after generation, have continued to stay because it works. I love it. And so our you know, I want to just say there are some of these companies with their, you know, these things, I guess I call them shiny pennies, shiny object syndrome, a tool, something to help. Are they really taking market share with programs such as the iBuyer? Did that occur in your markets, and to what extent did it? And did you respond to it? How did you respond to it? Was it a non-event? And what were sort of the results of sales by, for example, iBuyers? Earl, I'll let you start with this one.
Sure, what a fun topic, right? We had a lot of outside entities come into the central Alabama market across the state, but primarily in the metro Birmingham area, which is, you know, the largest metropolitan area in the state, and just pumping the airwaves, talk radio, social media, billboards, postcards, I mean, just inundating the central Alabama community with iBuyer, instant offer, reach out to us, da, 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 da. And did it kind of ruffle the feathers on the back of our neck? Yeah. Did it catch our attention? Absolutely. Have they gotten any traction? No, they have not. You know, 1-2% of our market, now that's a lot and that can add up. But what we did at Realty South, and I'm very proud of kind of the proactive stance that we took. We have an iBuyer program at Realty South. And what we have done, instead of making our iBuyer program fancy billboards and the shiny new object, we have trained our agents to be able, during a traditional listing appointment, during their presentation, to talk about the traditional model and this and what their various options are. And we also give them the option of an iBuying option. And so we present those models during the listing presentation. It's worked beautifully. And it has given our agents the ammunition in a very positive way, not negatively talking about iBuying. It's a model that works for some people. But it has given our agents the option to say, hey, we have that too. And if you're interested in that, we can do it. So we haven't had a lot of adoption from our listing presentations. Most have just gone with the traditional, let's list your house. But that's kind of our take. It's not been a huge market share suck for us.
Yeah, and 1 to 2%, and having a solution, I think, you know, having the solution for the couple of people who say, hey, they have that and we don't, right? We've crossed that box, we have it, we can offer it. But how many sellers actually choose that model is really what I think at the end of the day, you're saying, isn't really happening. So great stuff. Melinda, your thoughts?
Gosh, Earl, that was picture perfect what you said, because I think very similar in our market. I think the iBuyer is a little bit higher of a percentage, maybe 2 or 3%. And what I loved about what you said is I feel like as a brokerage, you have to be adaptable and strategic and pivot when something new comes your way. And to Realty South, kudos to you. We did something very, very similar. Is we had an option. I mean, you have to know your value and you have to know your set of toolbox. So you've got this whole set of toolbox, and depending on the market, depending on who you're in front of as a client, a seller or buyer, you know which tool to take out of the toolbox when you need it. Curbio is a perfect example of that. We've white labeled a lot of these amazing products, and we call them partners in our industry, Curbio being one of them. And so it's one of those great things that when you're in front of someone, whether it's iBuyer, whether it's a need of a seller, whether it's they need, an estate sale, whatever it is, they need painting, and to your point, carpet and paint and cleaning and those kind of things. You've got to know when to take that out of your toolbox. And I think as a brokerage or as a leader of a office, a team of agents, whatever that is, it's always putting in front of your agents and educating them about what all those tools are to combat. So iBuyers, I think that personally, it's not going to be what it once was. Here we are entering, as I like to say, a very normal market. We've been in agents and for a very long time in this market, but 77 years, very similar to Realty South, and it's just a normal market. And we have to know what to use and when to use it. And I think some of the disruptors that come into a market and offer a new plan, as good leaders, you just have to know how to pivot and how to repackage that under your brokerage and sell it.
Excellent. And I think we've heard the phrase often, the best defense is a better offense, right? And we have tools. We all have tech stack. Every real estate brokerage company that we converse with, which are many, and all across the country, we all have a tech stack. I think what has happened in our world is that sometimes the marketing terminology, right, the way it's packaged, the way the mousetrap looks, it's a different way to do something, gets the attention. And of course, sometimes agents, sometimes customers think there's a faster way to, get better results. Earl, you had talked about a social media solution that your company had come up with, focusing on Realty South technology. Could you expand on that a little bit? It was to expose, from your Realty South page to generate more opportunities for your agents.
Yeah, so what we have done is we have partnered with AdWorks, and we have packaged it, kind of the white label thing. We call it Realty South Ad Center. So what we have is Realty South Design Center. It's like Canva on steroids.
Yes.
Our agents have the ability to go in there. It's all templated. It follows our marketing standards, has the fair housing. It is a fabulous suite of things sized for Instagram, Facebook, yard signs, print, all these different types of options. And then you can dump that into our print version, which is called Express Docs, where we can mail out. Or you can go into AdWorks, which is our internet-based version, and you can run ads all over the internet. We've just launched that, and it's working beautifully. We have great adoption to it, and the agents are really buying into it. We also have created something which is an automatic retargeting tool. And nothing chaps me worse than to see an agent share something from Zillow, or share something from HomeSnap, or share something from Realtor.com, right? It's like direct them to the Realty South website. And what we have done is all of our agents have first name, last name.realtysouth.com. They have their own website, right? So if they will share from their own website, so they share listings on social media from their own website. When the consumer goes there, we attach cookies to it and we follow them. Just like when you go to buy a watch from Amazon and you see watch ads for the next week. We retarget and follow them. So our agents I had an agent come to me and she said, oh my gosh, I saw myself on the internet. There was an ad for me. How in the world did that happen, right? And it's our retargeting tool. And we are getting great adoption with that. And what we are seeing at realtysouth.com is a great rise in the number of unique visitors that we're having come to realtysouth.com. And it is cutting out somebody clicking on your listing, going to Zillow, and getting redirected to an agent at an outside brokerage. It has been just a brilliant solution for us, and we just couldn't be more pleased with the way it's working.
I love it. And, you can look at, I don't want to say traditional is not a bad term. When you look at the back to basics, blocking and tackling of doing this business. I remember my first manager telling me, Sherry, you'll survive any market. And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, you know how to go make it happen and make your own business. And so when any of our agents or any companies for that matter, are too dependent on one lead source, a Zillow, for example, or any other portal, we can go create those showings ourselves, Earl. If we called the neighbors, if we put postcards out, if we created those appointments rather than, launching a listing without having a really good marketing plan. And it's like, you can slow down the marketing, right? And I remember when I was an agent, Hobie Hanna asked me, why do you put the sign up so fast? And I was like, I thought he was crazy for a minute. And then I realized what I'm about to tell you. It's like, get the people around that house to give you referrals, and it's brilliant strategy. We don't need to be fearful of these companies when we could actually be doing this ourselves, and it's just, to me, a way to remind everybody that there is no easy, fast pill to swallow in real estate sales. It is massive action, creates massive results, and a relentless tenacity to go out and win, and it just, to me, your tools are doing it. But I think what you said was you're teaching your agents, right, how to use them on those marketing listing appointments, which that's where it happens right there, right then. Sarah, do you want to add anything and jump in if you feel like, if you want to jump in?
I know. Absolutely, so much. And you guys have really brought it in so well. I mean, when talking about tools in your toolbox, that's exactly what Curbio is. We are an agent tool. Use us to give your sellers options. Talking about going to the listing presentation and presenting iBuying as an option, that's what we coach as well. We say, here, go to the listing presentation, lay it out for them. Y'all can sell it as is. You can do an iBuyer. You can go the traditional route of home improvement, which, let's be real, nobody loves doing that. No one wants to go out of pocket. No one wants to manage the project. Or you can kick it to Curbio, bring us in, let us manage the project start to finish, defer all costs until closing, try out our solution, use this tool in our toolbox. And so not only are we, we are the solution, we are the licensed general contractor for every job. We're operating in 60 markets nationally and continuing to grow. But we also want to help agents, provide those enablement tools, whether it is social media pieces that agents can grab from our marketing toolkit, or one pagers they can put in the hands of their sellers to say, you have options. I think that's always the important thing, is helping agents to continue to level up. Because as y'all have illustrated beautifully, and we believe the same thing, real estate, it's a people business. People, each one of you is an individual brand. Every agent is your own brand, and that's what we continue to do as your partners, help you build that brand, help you build those relationships. But we know too, it's a referral-based business, and so when you provide clients the tools that they need and the options that they need, they're going to come back to you over and over. So we're here to do all facets and just meet all of it. And you know, I think for us, it's like y'all have said, you know, we know that those competitors are out there, those disruptors. We're a disruptor. You know, we're disrupting the industry. We're here to update America's housing stock and to make it easy and turnkey, and to give sellers options. And so, you know, I think as we continue, our North Star is always working with agents and providing them options.
Well, and you are a solution, you know, I mean, I know agents, we have a lot of agents in our coaching program. We use Curbio to have again, turnkey solution. That's what we're providing in the presentation. The nice thing, obviously, Sarah, with your company is you're not taking money, you know, and referral fees out of our companies or out of our agents. And you're partnering with us, which is exactly the key word, partnership. Melinda, you know, you've got, I kind of asked 2 questions on the last slide, but add to this if you would, please.
You know, well, gosh, I'm excited. I'm going to figure out about this ad work. So we're going to have to talk later. That was really good. You know, I think our theme, and actually I've been kind of on my tour of all 34 of our offices and talking to the agents about, you know, the market shifted, what are we doing? And at the end of the day, it takes hustle. And that's kind of my word for 2023 is you have to go out there and make it happen. We are in the sales business. That is what we do. If you're a sales leader or a manager, you are in the sales business. Sometimes we forget about that every once in a while, but you've got to know how to sell and in each market. And so know your toolbox, know what you have to offer, and concentrate on the sales. In my opinion, in a shifting market, whether it's a competitor, an iBuyer, a disruptor, whatever it is, in a competitive market, and when the market shifts, the cream will rise to the top. The people that provide value, the people that are professional, the people that present themselves as the expert in an area, or you know, have a designation or have taken continuing education on a topic. That's who rises to the top in this kind of market. So I would empower you all to just concentrate on the sales aspect of it, and you will continue to thrive.
Yeah, it is a mutually beneficial partnership where our agents, you know, your agents know they can't succeed without the broker, and the broker knows for sure they can't succeed without the sales team. I also read a great quote, you know, the sales team isn't the whole company, but the whole company better be the sales team, right? So we're all, we are all in sales. We're always selling everybody, right? And whether we're selling our brand, whether we're selling to the outside consumer, our clients, you know, your clients are your agents. I want to ask you, we sort of covered this topic. I'm going to switch to what are you doing with that same mindset for recruiting against some of these other models? You know, how do you communicate your value, your monetized value of the goods and services you provide and pay for? Ultimately, it surprises me when agents have no idea what they're paying for when we're out recruiting them, and we show them what the effective rate is of what they're actually getting on their quote, you know, 100% plan or whatever it is, wherever they are. And then they look at, you know, the cost benefits of what they can get from you. So how do you communicate your value proposition, both for recruiting agents to your firm, experienced agents, new agents, or how are you using that same value proposition for retention? Earl, I'll go with you first.
Okay, so our good friend at BHHS Georgia Properties, the new CEO over there, she recently posted something in a private Facebook group, and she said, it's time to reset, recalibrate, and re-educate. And I just thought that those 3 words were just a perfect summation of where we are, right? Resetting and recalibrating. It's nothing new, right? We're not recreating the wheel. We are going back to what y'all have all said. It is sales, sales, sales. And if you can't generate leads on your own, then you're going to fail in this business. And you're going to be that 80% that in 5 years is gone, right? So what I do in talking about Realty South and selling our value is how we are going to take them from zero to something in X amount of time, right? And I let them kind of define what their goal is. If they want to sell 5 houses, that's okay. If they want to sell 150 houses, that's better. But we have to have a different game plan for them. So we have several tools here that help us with the value to recruiting. We've just launched a new program, brand new, and it's Access 45. And it is 0 to 1 closing in 45 days. And it is an accountability program. We have an employee that is handling that. She is following up with the new agents, working with them step by step, day by day, having constant communication with them to coach them up and get them going. Because in my experience, what I have seen is our new agents struggle with how to get going, right? So that kind of launches them out of the gate. We have adopted Brian Buffini's 100 Days to Greatness, and we are doing that program across the board. And with our agents, we are focusing in for a retention thing on culture, right? Culture based around our core values, which Sherry Johnson helped us develop. Our mission statement, what we do, what our value is, and believe it or not, people buy into that. You know, that there is a value to that. And we are dealing with the competition pounding at our door. And they are coming in and they are buying agents. They're offering 100% for 24 months, right? They're just buying agents away. And I had a great conversation with an agent yesterday, and he said, how do you stay in business if you do that, right? And he was the one being offered some just fabulous deal. Yeah. He's staying with us because of the value proposition and the way we lay it out and what he gets from our leadership team and his peers in the agent pool. So I may have gone on a little too long there, but I'm pretty passionate about this.
I think, no, you hit it on the head. I think you were speaking of Deanne Golden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pick up the phone with her a little bit ago. Love that quote, and I love Access 45. I also know you've been very successful with, the Goldmine pipeline system in your offices, agents using that, doubling and tripling their business. Melinda, what can you tell us that you're doing, because you're doing a lot of other things too down in Ebby Halliday?
Absolutely. So I'll take retention first, because I think it is one of the most important things we do as a leadership team. And it's really focusing in, if you haven't seen someone at your sales meeting, or they haven't come to an event, or, they're kind of out of sight, out of mind. One of the things we're empowering our sales leaders to do right now is, reach out. Obviously, we're in business planning sessions. So if they're not attending business planning, or they're not, maybe they're years off, there's, again, we're a people company, we're a people business, and there could be something going on in that agent's life, and maybe they're having a tough time right now. So I think that's a really important piece of our retention. The other piece of that, I've got to just completely brag on our leadership of Chris Kelly and Carolyn Rawson, our CEO and president. Chris does an amazing job every single week providing value to our agents. It's about a 15-minute video he does called The Roadmap. Comes in every Friday morning about 8:30 or 9, and I can't imagine the time it takes him to put that together. But it just sets you up for the week. You need that art and science. You need the feel-good things, but you also need the data to say you as a professional and know the statistical information and know the things that are happening not only in your local economy, but the state economy, and obviously the national outlook of what's happening. So I feel like that's a big retention tool for us. I know during COVID and we had Snowmageddon last year and other things, that we were on the cusp of helping agents not only in our own brokerage, but as a kind of a talent attraction recruiting piece. We encouraged our sales leaders to reach out to our competitors and show our value of the information. And if we had created a form, or we created a video, or a process of making our business essential, we wanted them to know that we were on the forefront of that. As far as the talent attraction or recruiting piece, one of the things that we're focusing on, especially as executive leadership, that we have gone after some pretty big recruits. And this took a little bit of process to put together, but kind of our dog and pony show where we'll have that team. We just got a huge team, about $110 million team come to us about 30 days ago. And it took 4 years, so it wasn't an overnight thing.
Right.
But one of the things that we did is, we had them come here and share not only our value proposition as an executive leadership team, but the many talents of our technology team, to our marketing team, to our relocation, and really walk them through those things. So that's one of the things that we're doing that I think definitely is working.
Well, I love, I just saw Chris too, the video, the best, I mean, you can connect with your agents so easily, so quickly, so easily. You're all talking about engagement. If you're not seeing agents, you're calling them, you care. This is a contact sport. It always has been, it always will be. I think you're describing cultures that thrive and are mutual. They have mutual respect. They have a pride among them. They are proud to be at your organizations. They know the value they're getting. And they also, that brings on more attraction when others see that from, I know people look at both your companies and say, wow, things are happening there. I want to be a part of that. That's a big deal.
Absolutely.
Your agents are recruiting people to your companies. More people are coming to your companies really than that are leaving, I believe. And that message, when you're an agent, you're thinking, is the grass greener, or is it maybe? But you just see, a $100 million team come over or a $10 million team come over, and you say, wait a minute, people are coming here. This is the place to be, and that is great leadership. And, Melinda I just wrote an article this morning that's probably publishing tomorrow about doubling down on activity and bringing your A game, not just now because of a change in market, but every day. The top successful people in the world set huge goals that they can't even attain, because you'd rather attain half that huge goal than set a goal too low and hit that number. So you're bringing that, both of you, to your companies. And I know, because I know a lot of agents in both your companies, but it's also, this development of agents, attraction and development, and really retention is development. Be able to do that through your tools and being innovative. I came from a company that was crazily innovative. If something was happening, they had something prepared and launched almost within a week or two that would solve a solution for the consumer to buy a house, or be able to sell their house first and buy. I mean, we just have to be innovative. I've got on my screen, I've always had this little thing that says, the person who can change the most will succeed the most. And I've added to that, the person that can change the most and the fastest, right? When you said pivot as well, I mean, you have to be ahead of it. It is a competitive advantage to change and resetting, whether it's a reset and recalibrate tool and something we dust off, and we say, wow, we had this and it worked. I laugh, those, QR codes are all back. And we know 20 years ago or 15 years ago, they were out. They didn't quite stick then. And certainly now, because of restaurants and menus, everybody's back to using QR codes, but we have the technology. And, people are probably not going to buy, I heard a great talk at the RISMedia dinner the other night. And the truth is, they're buying people, they deal with people before they buy products and services, as my friend Adam Lerman says. And so when you think about it, they're not going to buy, I see this Carvana thing, where it looks like a vending machine for cars. And, people might book airline tickets and a trip for $5,000 or $8,000 online and not speak to a live person. But I really don't believe they're ever going to spend $300,000 to buy a home without us, without what we bring to the table. And that's what we bring: expertise, knowledge, skill, market knowledge, everything that is so important. So it's just really a great conversation, and you're both really hitting it out of the park. I will say this, what we focus on expands, right? So when we focus on things that we shouldn't really legitimize, right? I mean, is that really in our lane? You said this the other day, Earl. That's not in our lane. It's not our model. It's not our model. It's not who we are. We have a solution. It's similar. A fraction of you will use it, but when we stick true to what we do every day, I think we can move mountains, and we can create lives and provide amazing real estate services to people out there that are living, working, and playing in our communities. It's great. So, any other thoughts about today's topic? I will say that adding Curbio into the layering of a solution for your agents is really amazing. We do have a lot, and I didn't plan on saying this, but we have a lot of agents that love the product. It's so easy. The fact that there's there's zero risk. They have all kinds of options. There's no limit on the project cost amount. I think it's huge. I think any agent, and the return on investment, which by the way, you didn't mention, but I will, 269% ROI that's generating 80% profit. Sarah, is that correct?
That's right. The average Curbio project generates $80,000 of profit, and that truly is pure profit. And a couple other great stats to call out. Yes, ROI of 269%, return on investment, amazing. One that I love to reference when it comes to retention and recruitment is that agents who pitch a concierge solution win 47% more listings than agents who don't have one. And so, if bottom line, we're in a day and age, if you don't have it, somebody else does, right? Pitch that you have your concierge solution. You're the solutions oriented savvy agent that your sellers need. We know too now, sellers, it used to be the last agent sellers are meeting with. Now it's be the only one, right? They're meeting with one agent before they make their decision. They're still working with an agent, but they're meeting with one. So you've got to be the agent who has the solutions that they need, absolutely, to generate that $80,000 on average profit. We've also seen that we're able to increase sales price by 28%. So 28%, list higher, increase your commissions as well as an agent. 28%. That's a substantial amount of money when it comes to talking about the investment in a home. And again, when you can offer that solution to your sellers, brokerages, they're able to retain top talent because they have solutions that agents need. So count Curbio in as a solution for your agents, for your team, and be able to communicate the value of it to your agents and your clients too.
Awesome. And I've got a question from John Martin, and actually, let me just check here. This is a John Martin from Richmond, Virginia, and John's question is, for those of us in markets that haven't had the iBuyer program, can you elaborate on what that means and how your market was affected? Is this simply discount brokerage versus full service? So, Earl, you want to take that one?
Sure. It's pretty simple. It's an instant offer. So it is, hey, I want to list my house, but I really don't want to go on the market. And they offer X amount. You want it, you take it, they buy it. They turn around and put it back on the market. And what we have seen with a lot of the iBuying, not all of them, but a lot of the iBuying programs is they'll go under contract, and then they will come in and nickel and dime you to death on repairs and try to drive the price down, which is very frustrating for a seller who thinks that they're getting this great deal. And so I don't know, Melinda, if you would add anything to that.
I think it is kind of an instant gratification. And I'm not saying it wouldn't work for some. Maybe they're in a financial situation they need to sell very quickly, or they have a house full of kids and just can't handle just getting it on the market. So it is a good solution, and I'm glad that our two brokerages found a solution for it when we needed it. Because I think, to Sarah's point about Curbio, you've got to have something in your toolbox of when that need arises, you have a solution. And I love that approach to it. But you probably have it in your market. It may not be a true iBuyer plan, but there are probably plenty of investors out there trying that in your marketplace. Now, as the market shifts, I think they're going to be fewer and far between, but you'd be surprised, they probably are in your market.
Excellent. And I remember, if we all remember the $9.95, put it in the MLS discount broker
Sure
thing, right? I don't even really know what to call that. That to me is not what we do. And those have come and gone. We don't see those really at all. Yet
we have them in Central Alabama.
You do, yeah. And it's, you sit there and you think it's really, and sometimes these are just my thoughts, but it's intellectual dishonesty. You don't really want to go in the MLS. You're going to pay a full commission anyway. So really these programs, not all of them, but some of them are really, in my opinion, they're not in the same category of full service real estate companies that do what we do. Another question that we have from Yana Woodruff, who I love. Hey, Yana. Is Curbio available in every area?
Great question. We are not. We are currently operating in 60 markets nationally. There's actually a great tool I can send to Sherry, but you all can find it from our website. It's our zip code lookup tool. You can see where we're located. So we're in a lot of the larger metropolitan areas, but we are all across the country, everywhere from East Coast. We're headquartered in the DC area, but we're absolutely not limited to just DC. We're in North Carolina and Charlotte and Raleigh. We're in Atlanta. We're in a bunch of Florida markets, Tampa, Orlando, Miami. As you move west, we're in Denver. We're in a bunch of California markets. We're in Phoenix, Washington State, Oregon, Chicago, Minnesota, Minneapolis, working on opening up several more. We open up, I'd say, anywhere between 3 and 5, every quarter or so. We'll be coming soon to St. Louis, coming soon to Las Vegas, coming soon to Jacksonville, Florida. So if we're not in your area yet, be on the lookout for us. We will be soon. But yes, once we're in an area, we operate in about a 40-mile radius of a metropolitan area. And that just allows us to give you the best possible service. We want to make sure that our on-site project managers can efficiently spend a lot of time at your property, and that our subcontractors the same. So if you happen to be just outside of a service area, you can always email us, team@curbio.com. Just send us an email and ask, hey, I'm 5 miles outside of Sacramento service area. Can you work on my project? We always are fielding requests like that. But we're continuing to grow. We're a tech company, like I said, 60 markets right now. Excited to see where we are at the end of 2023, but growing rapidly.
Sarah, thank you. And I wanted to ask, what's it cost an agent? There's no charge, there's no fee, there's no subscription to pay, right?
That's right. No charge for using Curbio, and truly there's no Curbio cut, there's no fees, there's no markup, there's no percentage increase. If you do a $30,000 project with us, that is a kitchen gut job and a kitchen redo, your seller pays us $30,000 at closing. That's it. We're a general contractor. We make our money just like any other general contractor based on volume of the amount of work that we do. Like I said, 60 markets nationally. We move a lot of volume, do a lot of jobs. But no, there is no fee for agents to use us, completely free.
And I saw a question here. Describe concierge.
Yeah, great question. Actually, I love this question because it's a word that I think in our wheelhouse, in our industry, we're throwing around quite often, because that's what we're often seeing some competitors billing themselves as, concierge. Here's what we are, pre-listing concierge. So what we mean by that is we defer all costs for your sellers until closing, cost deferred option for pre-listing updates. We go a step further. I'd say that deferring all costs for updates until closing is pretty much table stakes for any business that's going to call themselves concierge when it comes to pre-listing updates. Curbio goes a step further beyond that, though. We manage the entire project from start to finish. So we alleviate that burden on you. And I know Melinda and Earl, y'all are thinking how much time you spend managing those pre-listing updates. I'm sure you could tell me, you know, walking the property, spending time with the homeowner, finding the subcontractors, picking out materials, measuring things, going to the hardware store, going back, you know, coming up with the schedule. Y'all know the song and dance. We give you a full-scale project manager who handles it from start to finish. Our process is inclusive of material and labor, and we truly try and make it as transparent as possible, giving your seller a line-itemed out fixed price proposal so they know exactly what they're getting into and exactly what they're going to owe us at closing. So that's truly what we mean when we say concierge. Not only do we defer all the costs until closing, we manage it too. We give you no project minimums, no project maximums. We'll take on jobs of all sizes and budgets.
I loved that 47%, was it? Is that the right stat?
Yeah.
47% of agents who offer a concierge
When
option.
40 agents who offer a concierge option win 47% more listings than those who don't have one. You know, so it really is just a thing. Again, if you don't have it, somebody else does. And let's face it, nobody likes home improvement. Even if you have money to spend on it, it's not fun, especially when you're selling. We know it's emotional. So give your sellers the ability to fix now, pay when you sell.
And fix now, pay when you sell, and you're getting requests to come to Birmingham and chat.
Yes, I was gonna say, I know, I am originally from South Georgia.
I have a question. I think we answered it though. It says, for Curbio, is there a time frame to pay Curbio for repairs done? Just thinking if the length of time on the market is getting longer in the Denver metro market, which is interesting to hear. Paulette, I think we answered that. It's just the time frame to pay for the repairs at closing. Is that the right answer?
That's right, yes. So our contract stipulates we get paid at closing or within 12 months of the at 12 months of the contract being signed, whichever one comes first. So at closing, yes. Our only stipulation around that is, you know, the home needs to be listed pretty much as soon as the work is completed. And so, you know, as you're thinking about timeline, of course, you know, things are going to take a bit to complete. So just as you're thinking about projects that you have for us, working backwards essentially to getting started and thinking about when you're going to list, when's the appropriate time to come to Curbio and bring us in to do that work. But yes, it is, we're paid at closing or, you know, 12 months from contract being signed, whichever one comes first. It's usually closing because, as y'all know, everything sells for the right price.
Excellent. Well, and it's been just, you know, you think about this topic, which is always, you know, a interesting conversation. Obviously, it's this topic of, you know, we all are kind of those like head down, do what we do. You need to know what's out there. Everyone here heard so many great takeaways of how you both run your companies, how your company's leadership teams are really innovative, forging new solutions for your agents and your consumers. It has just been an awesome hour. I can't believe it's up already. I'm sad. I'm sad because we could just keep talking. You know, I really appreciate your willingness to share. First of all, Melinda and Earl, I knew you both would just hit it out of the park, and you have so many great takeaways that I hope the brokers listening, managers, brokers, executives listening, or if you are a broker owner yourself, you know, how can you increase your value? We just said at a panel the other day, you know, you have to know what you offer and believe in it. You know, if you don't believe in it, you can't, it won't transcend. It will not go to the people that you want to work with you. And so people business, we are providing a partnership that's mutually beneficial. You've got great success stories, one after another. I think the real competition is us against ourselves, going out and doubling down and getting more listings, getting more appointments, because this is opportunity season. It is not I mean, our market is going to change again in 3 years. It'll change again in 6 to 8 years. So all of us that'll still be in it, all of us on this call will still be here. We know because we can make those changes quickly and stay true to our model. That's what I heard today. I appreciate you guys so much. Earl Mooring, thank you. Melinda Howell, always a pleasure, always a pleasure. And Sarah Smith, thank you for sponsoring today. I am going to take us to your awesome promo that you're giving away today to our listeners. So Sarah, tell everybody what they could get.
Yes, y'all, we know that y'all bring it all to the table, right? You do the work that is needed to sell the listings. I've heard of countless stories of agents scrubbing windows, getting down on your hands and knees, scrubbing the floors. You're answering texts in the middle of the night. You're sending emails first thing in the morning. You're hustling. You're showing up. Melinda, that was your word. Absolutely. Y'all hustle. You bring everything to the table. And so Curbio wants to say thank you. We want to help you. We want to bring it all to the table and give back to you this holiday season. So between now and the end of the year, when you start a project with Curbio, that is your homeowner signs a contract with us, we will give you $500 to jumpstart your holiday shopping. So every project signed contract between now and at the end of the year, $500. Head over to, the link is right here. You're going to just use promo code Bring It All. That lets us know that you want to do this. It's an amazing, amazing way to try us out. If you've never worked with us before, if you've done a project with us before, here's your chance to get more money from us and to work with us. So we're really excited to give y'all this promo this holiday season.
I love this, and I love bring it to the table. That's what you do, and that's what we do. And what a great promo. And take advantage of this, everybody. Take the time to learn about this great solution. They are partnering with us for agent success, and it's just a win-win all the way around. Sarah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm excited. We are offering all of you brokers and whether you're regional manager, executive, broker owner, an opportunity to view the custom co-branded Sherry Johnson Academy learning management system, which we are providing this turnkey solution to companies all across the world, actually, to provide instant, on-demand, 24/7 coaching, training, new agent coaching and training programs, elite teams, whatever, exactly what you need when your agents and managers need it. There is a broker academy involved in this as well. If you'd like a strategy call, talk to us for 45 minutes to an hour. Go to sherryjohnson.com/strategy call and book your call with us to learn more about how this turnkey solution can add significant top line revenue, which will ultimately turn into sustainable profitability in any market. So check that out. This is a great learning management system, state-of-the-art, world class, nothing like it on the market, actually. So we're excited about that. And again, I'm Sherry Johnson. We have enjoyed being with you. Don't forget, there is a webinar video link that will be emailed to you from our great friends at RISMedia. And again, this has been an outstanding day of learning, sharing, and getting better at our game. We're bringing it on. We're going to have a great end of the year, all of you, and as well, a great start to 2023. I look forward to seeing you on the next webinar series. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.